Lillahi ta'ala. Alhamdulillah. We're moving right along. Subhanallah. If you look at the little scroll bar here, you can see how close we are to the bottom. What did Allah say? كل من عليها fan. Everything on earth shall perish. The author says, معاصي الأذن, the sins of the ear. قال المؤلف رحمه الله. Said the author, may Allah have mercy upon him. فصل, section. ومن معاصي الأذن الاستماع إلى كلام قوم أخفوه عنه. And amongst the sins of the ear is listening to the talk of some folks who hid that from him. الشرح, the explanation. هذا الفصل معقود لبيان معاصي الأذن. This section is dedicated to clarifying the sins of the ear. فمنها الاستماع إلى كلام قوم يكرهون اطلاعه عليه. One of them is listening to the talk of some folks who dislike for him to be aware of that. بأن علم أنهم يكرهون ذلك. This sin would be by him knowing that they don't like that. وهو من الكبائر, and that's one of the major sins. Spying, eavesdropping. وذلك لما صح من أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال. That's because of what is authentic. That the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, من استمع إلى حديث قوم وهم له كارهون صب في أذنيه الآنك يوم القيامة. Anyone who listened to the talk of some people while they are of that uh, dislikers, unapproving, while they are of that unapproving, or they are of him unapproving. صُبَّ فِي أُذُنَيْهِ الْآنُكُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Then the anuk shall be poured into his ears on resurrection day. وذلك نوع من التجسس المحرم. This is a type of forbidden spying. والآنك بمد الألف وضم النون الرصاص المذاب. And the anuk is molten lead. Molten lead shall be poured into his ears on resurrection day. ومثل ذلك استخبار جيرانه عما عندهم ليعلم ما يجري في دار جاره مما يتأذى من اطلاعه عليه. And that includes asking his neighbors about their business, so that he would know what happens in his neighbor's house in such a way that is harmful to the neighbor. نعم لو أخبره ثقة بأنهم مجتمعون على معصية. Yes, though, had a trustworthy person informed him that they were gathered sinning, كان له الهجوم عليهم بلا استئذان, then it would be permissible for him to barge in on them without permission. Who's them? Yani some people. As for his neighbor, he can't go into his neighbor's house without permission. Yani not in a be careful there. قال المؤلف رحمه الله, said the author, may Allah have mercy upon him, وإلى المزمار والطنبور, and listening to the pipe and the guitar. وهو آلة تشبه العود. So it's not really guitar. It's like a guitar, a tumbur, some stringed instrument. some sort of guitar. It's an instrument that resembles the oud, which is some sort of guitar. وسائر الأصوات المحرمة, and listening to any of the other forbidden sounds. وكالاستماع إلى الغيبة والنميمة ونحوهما. And also, it's like listening to gossip and tale bearing and the likes of those, like slander and defamation. بخلاف ما إذا دخل عليه السماع قهرا وكرها, as opposed to when uh, he hears without intent. Yani, with the meaning that he can't shut his ears off. One of us, he cannot stop hearing something. That's why he's going to like put his fingers in his ears and run away, for example. So when the hearing comes to him, when the sound comes to him, so he hears it. Not that he's listening to it, but he hears it and he hates it, then there's no sin. وَلَازِمَهُ الْإِنْكَارُ إِنْ قَدَرْ, and it's obligatory on him to object if he's able to. الشرح, the explanation is أن من معاصي الأذن الاستماع إلى المزمار والطنبور. The explanation is that amongst the sins of the ears is listening to the pipe or the guitar. وهو بضم الطاء آلة معروفة من آلات اللهو المطربة بمفردها ولها أوتار وما فيه معنى ذلك من آلات الأوتار. The actual instrument that the Sheikh mentioned in his text is the one called at-tumbur. That has a dhamma on the ta, tu, tumbur, and it's a known instrument. So I don't know what instrument that might be. Tumbur. Let me see if I can find out really fast. So in English, tenbur, tenbur. So it's just a guitar. I'll show you here. Here, let me show you. So this is, you can see how they spell it here. Tanbur. Sheikh is saying in Arabic there's a dhamma on the ta. Tumbur, tumbur. It looks like they're going to say tenbur, tenbur. Yeah, so some sort of guitar, as you can see. Interesting. Okay. So back to the text here. So Sheikh said the tumbur is alatun ma'rufa. It's a known instrument. So now we are familiar which one that is. من آلات اللهو المطربة بمفردها. One of the musical instruments that is independently euphoric, independently enchanting. One of those that can put you in a trance without being mixed with another instrument. وَلَهَا أَوْتَارٌ. It has chords, strings. وَمَا فِيهِ مَعْنَى ذَلِكَ مِنْ آلَاتِ الْأَوْتَارِ. And anything with the same meaning. Yani all those guitars. And what's like them? They have the same judgment. And the harp. And the piano. Those are all stringed instruments. آلات الأوتار. Piano has chords inside. When you hit the key, a hammer comes down. The hammer comes down, strikes the chord, makes it vibrate. والإطراب معناه إحداث خفة في الروح. And the euphoria or the enchantment or the trance, if you accept that word. Its meaning is causing a lightness in the soul. It's the most literal translation I can give you. إحداث خفة في الروح. يعني maybe it might be said it taps your soul. فالآلات التي تحدث ذلك يحرم الاستماع إليها. The instruments that can do that, it's forbidden to listen to them. They can do that on their own, without a band, without being mixed with other instruments. وأما الصنج وهي قطعتان من نحاس تضرب إحداهما بالأخرى فليست من آلات اللهو المطربة بمفردها. As for the cymbals, those are two pieces of brass that are smashed together or hit together. They are not independently enchanting musical instruments. وقد مال إمام الحرمين إلى عدم حرمتها. Imam al-Haramain was inclined towards their not being sinful. He yani, was inclined to the position that symbols are not forbidden. وهو الصحيح, and that's what's correct. خلافا لبعض المتأخرين, as opposed to some of the latter day figures, الذين قطعوا بحرمتها, those who were definitive according to them that symbols are haram. ومثل المزمار ما ذكر معه سائر الآلات المطربة بمفردها. And like the pipe and what has been mentioned here, like them is the rest of the independently enchanting musical instruments. وذلك لحديث, that's due to the hadith لا يكونن في أمتي أناس يستحلون الحر والحرير والخمر والمعازف. There will indeed be in my nation people who legalize fornication and silk and wine and music. رواه البخاري, the musical instruments that is. وفي هذا دليل على حرمة الاستماع إلى آلات اللهو المطربة. In this is evidence for the prohibition of listening to the instruments that are enchanting. وإنما عبر بالاستماع لأن المحرم هو الاستماع لا السماع بلا قصد. And the only reason the author expressed himself by saying listening to, is because what is actually forbidden is the listening, not hearing, not merely hearing without an intention to listen. والمعنى في تحريم هذه الأشياء, and the meaning behind forbidding these things, أن اللذة الحاصلة منها تدعو إلى فساد, is that the pleasure that occurs from them calls for corruption, meaning leads to corruption. وكونها شعار أهل الفسق, and because this is the, or these are the symbols, the signs, the indicators of the major sinners. أي من عاداتهم, meaning their norm. This instrument playing is the norm of the major sinners. لأنه معروف عنهم استعمال ذلك, because it's known that they use that. Yes. And take a look at the singers and yani what they call artists. Don't you see how weird they are? This is not for the Muslims. Yani, there's something, all those weirdos, they have something in common. It's the music that they have in common. Subhanallah. I remember growing up in the 80s, a kid in the 80s, and that's a lot of like the culture changed greatly, and the music changed, and lots of weirdos were coming out. I think there were already weirdos, uh, but yeah, I remember like watching music videos. That's when music videos first started coming out, and like if you don't know better, you think this is normal. The way those people are dressing, you see men with makeup on and crazy outfits, and maybe their boots are like 6 inches of soles on their boots, and they have spikes, for example. All very weird people. Their hair is big and crazy, colorful, etc., etc. You know what they look like. ويشترط في ارتفاع الإثم في السماع إذا كان بلا قصد أن يكره ذلك. And it's a condition for lifting the sin when it comes to hearing, when that was without an intention, uh, that one dislikes that. That means when the haram sound comes upon his ear, then he has to hate it. Now he'll have no sin because he didn't listen to it on purpose, and when it came upon his ear, he hated it. And as opposed to what some of the people do, when it comes upon their ear, once they recognize that, they say, "Oh, that's my jam right there," and then they dance and they enjoy it. So you can't do that. ويشترط للسلامة من الإثم الإنكار لما يحرم من ذلك. And it's a condition to be clear of the sin, uh, objecting to this. Objecting to whatever is forbidden here. بيده أو لسانه إن قدر. By hand or tongue when able. وإلا فيجب عليه الإنكار بقلبه. Or else it would be obligatory on a person to object to it in his heart. ومفارقة المجلس إن كان جالسا فيه. And to depart the session if he were sitting there. But subhanallah, even as a non-Muslim, uh, I noticed that there come a time when listening to too much music just make my heart feels dry. Have to stop. With all the love of music, so I don't know how many people are like that. With all the love of music, there would sometimes come a time and say, okay, khalas, yani. Like my heart feels dry, empty. It's the music. You have to give it a break. Maybe a person feels that but doesn't register for him. So he will keep that music going on his heart. So if you are somebody listening to haram music and you recognize that dry feeling, that empty feeling from listening to music, yani like you're bored of it, you're bored of the music, and now your heart is cringing, stop it. Yani, give yourself a break. And yani, don't listen to haram music after that again, but stop doing that. Any question? Subhanallah, sometimes maybe something would be haram, a person wouldn't know it's haram, but he would, yani himself, there's something about this thing. I don't know if it's just me. Even remember, before being Muslim, when I was still young, sometimes we would have haram meat. Yani, all we had was haram meat if it wasn't fish. And there was something about this meat. Even sometimes I'll say, I don't want to eat this meat. I like meat though. Uh, it's like as if this meat is saying to me, don't eat me. MashaAllah. Anyway,